Today, I will be providing an update on the Wesley Ridge wildfire, and Douglas Holmes, the Emergency Operations Director for the Regional District of Nanaimo, will be providing an update as well. Following the updates, we will take questions from the media, one question and one follow-up each. Jennifer Lohmeyer, our assistant, will monitor the chat and call you up with questions. Following this update, if you would like us to clarify anything, please send us an email. The contact information for the Wesley Ridge wildfire team is in the chat. If we are not able to provide an answer and need to go and find the correct information, we will make sure we respond. Please put your contact information in the chat. Reach out to us, sorry. Again, reminder, please keep yourselves muted. Do not interrupt when someone is asking a question so everyone can get clean clips. And please support us in only producing the best and most accurate of these clips. Again, happy to repeat anything if needed. And just a very important reminder, on this Zoom call, we are only answering questions about this incident. Any inquiries about the Mount Underwood wildfire should be directed to the Coastal Fire Center information team. For regular updates on this and all incidents, in the BC Wildfire Service website has those for the rest of the province. And I will begin. My name is Madison Dahl, the Fire Information Officer for V71145 Wesley Ridge Wildfire. Today is August 12th. The Wesley Ridge wildfire is being held. It is 588 hectares, and it is no longer a wildfire of note. There was no growth on the Wesley Ridge wildfire yesterday, and fire activity was minimal and in remote terrain overnight. The wildfire has been displaying mostly rank 1 fire behavior. So that's a smoldering ground fire with no open flame. There are isolated pockets of rank 2 and rank 3 fire behavior, which is a low to moderate vigorous surface fire with open flame. Today, on August 12th, there are 197 firefighting personnel responding to the wildfire. An incident management team of 39 individuals is also responding and supporting. There are 9 helicopters assigned to the wildfire and 11 pieces of heavy equipment. Today is going to be another hot day with temperatures reaching up to 32 degrees Celsius and the relative humidity around 30 to 55%. Winds are going to be 10 to 20 kilometers an hour, gusting up to 30. A heat advisory was given out again today to crews that are working along the Wesley Ridge wildfire. We continue to improve containment of the Wesley Ridge wildfire and support the ongoing protection of residences, properties, critical infrastructure, and other key values. Heavy equipment has built control lines and secured access for crews, and crews continue to patrol through residential areas, suppressing any identified areas of heat. Into the forest, crews continue to secure control lines and mop up, pushing in from the black from the guard. I'm going to do that one again. Crews continue to patrol through residential areas, suppressing any identified areas of heat. Into the forest, crews continue to secure the control lines, mopping up, pushing into the black from the guard. On the northwestern edge of the Wesley Ridge wildfire, it's burning in steep and challenging terrain with limited ground access. Water sources in this area are limited, and helicopters have been bringing water up to fill bladders and support a direct attack and mop up high up on the ridge. Crews are continuing to improve water delivery systems to support direct attack, and hose lays have been established through their area. One of the hose lays is over 3 kilometers long, making sure we ensure continuous water supply along this ridge. The Wesley Ridge wildfire is being held, but suppression activities are ongoing. Helicopters continue to move crews, supply water, and support operations, and crews are working hard in challenging terrain and 30-degree temperatures. This is very much still an active wildfire, and we will continue to see smoke. Even when smoke is not present, there are other dangers, and we ask that recreators obey all posted signs and stay out of the area. There can be fire-damaged timber or danger trees. They aren't always going to be visible or noticeable, and they can fall without warning. Areas where trees have been broken or uprooted can increase the chance of injury, and heavy precipitation can affect soil integrity, increasing the risk of those trees falling. There are also ash pits, which are often hard to detect and can remain long after the flames have died down. These and many others pose a significant risk. So even though the wildfire is being held and there may be areas where there is no smoke, this is an active wildfire, and please obey any signs and stay out of the area. I'm going to leave it there for now. I'll let Doug take over, and then I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Madison. So we were very pleased yesterday to lift 2 evacuation orders, one for 257 properties in the Little Qualicum River Village below 1726 Warren Way. Those properties remain on evacuation alert. And then yesterday evening at 5:30, the evacuation order was lifted for Little Qualicum River Falls Provincial Park, noting that the day use area of the Little Qualicum River Falls Provincial Park remains on evacuation alert. The remaining 37 properties in Little Qualicum River Village above 1726 Warren Way remain on evacuation order. The 353 properties that were already on alert below 1726 Warren Way and near the Spider Lake area remain on evacuation alert. So let me provide a summary of what's where we're at right now. So there are 37 properties in Little Qualicum River Village above 1726 Warren Way that remain on evacuation order. There are 610 properties plus the Little Qualicum River Falls Provincial Day Park that remain on evacuation alert. We're working very hard with our partners to enable the remaining residents on evacuation order in the Little Qualicum River Village to return to home as soon as possible. We continue to assess various conditions in that endeavor, and we update our website at rdn.bc.ca/current-alerts with anything that's new. So let me talk very briefly about alerts versus orders. Alerts are issued to inform residents of emerging threats and encourage early preparation for possible evacuation. Though not mandatory, these alerts help individuals and organizations make timely decisions and increase and improve their readiness. An evacuation order is an official mandate from the local authority requiring residents to leave all or part of a community for their safety during emergencies. Such orders are enacted only when absolutely necessary, based on expert advice and thorough assessment of the situation. Key factors we consider before issuing or lifting an evacuation order include protection of life and safety, risk to and condition of infrastructure and facilities, population characteristics, evacuation destinations, evacuation route viability, transportation resources, mobilization timeline, weather conditions. As noted, we are assessing these factors as they relate to the 37 properties that remain on evacuation order in the Little Qualicum River Village, and we are working to get the information necessary and control for the conditions as best possible so that folks can return home as soon as possible safely. Regarding our emergency support services, as of today, 43 households are currently receiving support. 99 evacuees are currently receiving support. Up to August 8th, we've had 695 evacuees receiving ESS supports at some point during the event. We want to remind people that returning home after a wildfire can be overwhelming. The area may look different and wildfire operations are still taking place. To support folks, we have a resiliency center at the Lighthouse Community Center. It is located at 240 Lions Way, Qualicum Beach, and will be open between 2 and 8 p.m. today. And those hours will continue each day up to and including Friday, August 15th, and there's a possible extension if that is needed. The purpose is to support the purpose is to support residents and evacuees affected by the Wesley Ridge wildfire. We've also located a reception center there as well. What a resiliency center does is it coordinates recovery services, brings together a variety of resources from agencies, organizations, and government offering support in one location. It also builds resilience by encouraging collaboration and information sharing. It assists residents with emotional and psychological aid, housing and financial help, health and wellness support, and can provide information on legal insurance matters. To respect the privacy of evacuees, we request that no one, aside from evacuees and emergency support services personnel, go to the Resilience Center. It's only intended for the people being served and the people providing the service. Group lodging has now been demobilized, and we're very grateful for the folks and agencies who supported the group lodging while it was established. Emergency support services has been extended for people under evacuation until Friday, August 15th, and will be renewed again depending on the situation if necessary. For individuals wanting to extend their specific emergency support services, please call the Provincial ESS Call Center at 1-800-387-4258. If you are an evacuee and you have home insurance for this, please work with your insurance provider before seeking emergency support services. The BC Mental Health Support Line is also available at 310-6789. Evacuees can reach out to BC Hydro to determine if they have experienced a power loss at any time at their home during this event. I'd like to remind folks, please, that the lakes are being used in this area for wildfire suppression. So Cameron Lake, Horn Lake, and Spider Lake are being utilized for water bucketing. People on or in the lakes need to stay close to shore to allow for helicopter access to pick up water. The Horn Lake boat launch remains closed. The following RDN parks remain closed: Little Qualicum River, Aerosmith CPR Trail, and Meadowood Park. Our very generous community has contacted us many times asking about providing materials and supplies. And we want to remind the public again that we do not have people or facilities to sort through these and distribute these. So we're asking people just to hold off. If we find ourselves in a situation that we need certain things, we will absolutely put that call out. But at this point in time, please do not drop off any materials at any of these locations. To find more information for current evacuation orders and alerts, please visit our website, rdn.bc.ca/current-alerts. Re-entry information for evacuees, please go to rdn.bc.ca/Wesley Ridge Wildfire. That's all one word. We also are operating an EOC, an Emergency Operations Center call center at 250-390-6538, which is open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And of course, the BC Wildfire Service has their webpage active, Wesley Ridge Wildfire. Any changes to evacuation orders and alerts that have been shall be shared directly with residents who are signed up via Voyant Alert. We encourage you to sign up for Voyant Alert, and you can have a look at our website to do that. We want to encourage people to not stop on Highway 4. It is meant to be a transportation corridor at this point in time, and it is best that folks, while traveling along that area, to just keep moving to your destination, and we're grateful for people who do that. So I'd like to end off by just saying how grateful we are to the various people who have been working on the front lines in fighting the fire, in coordinating the response to the fire, in supporting our volunteers, the amazing people who worked with structure fire in this situation, and who are also greeting people as they come back to their homes. There's a lot of people to mention here, but I just really want to express my gratitude, including people in the Emergency Operations Center, and thank the public for their support and their generosity. And also, I would really appreciate the work of, really appreciate the patience of our evacuees as they are waiting to get back to their homes, and the very receptive spirit with which they've accepted this information. And please know we're trying to get more to you for those remaining folks who are on evacuation. That's all that we have at this point in time. I'd be happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Madison and Douglas. I'll now call on the media for questions in the order that they're placed in the chat. If you would like to ask a question, please put it in the chat along with your first name, the name of your outlet, and if the question is for BC Wildfire Service or the Regional District of Nanaimo. If we don't have a first name and media outlet name, we will not call on you to ask a question. I'm going to hold a minute to allow people to add questions to the chat. We have a question in the chat from Kevin with Parksville Qualicum Beach News. Kevin, could you please unmute yourself and ask your questions?
Hi there, thanks for taking my question. My first question is for the RDN, and it is, how many people have made use of the reception center in Qualicum Beach in terms of overnight stays, and how many have accessed it overall in some way?
Thanks, Kevin. I'm just getting back to my notes here. We've had 695 evacuees who've received ESS support. Some of those have been directly and some of those have been remotely. I would have to get back to you. We will have somebody reach back to you with respect to the information on how many people stayed overnight. I don't have that information with me.
Thanks. My second question is for the Wildfire Service. Now that the fire is held, does that change the approach to fighting it, or in terms of strategy or the number of personnel involved?
Great question, thank you. Yeah, wildfires are dynamic, and so they do change. Our strategies and approaches change depending on the terrain, the weather conditions, and what's going on. There's multiple factors, but in this case, we've been progressing. Once we were able to get the fire out of the residential areas and working to patrol and mop up within those areas, our focus shifted more in towards the wilderness area, the wildland area. There's a really good video with our IC, and he kind of explains the shift in the focus. So securing control lines and contingency lines, and using direct and indirect attack methods in that area, just to ensure that the fire is brought to the guard and isn't going to challenge those guards. So our crews are now shifting into mop up and patrol, using water, quite a bit of water, to cool the area along the guard, pushing from the guard into the black in most of those areas, and just making sure that they're using all of the features, natural or man-made, as a boundary with which to make sure the fire doesn't cross that. So strategies do shift as we go. The term being held is a wildfire that is projected based on the current and forecasted weather and the available resources to remain within an identified boundary. That hasn't changed. It is still being held, and we are very well resourced. As the fire shifts and as the needs shift, and again, every fire is different, we will focus on either increasing or decreasing heavy equipment, structure protection, the number of firefighters on the ground, and chainsaw specialists or fallers. So it's going to depend on the terrain, on the conditions, on the trees. Every fire is different. And in this one, there have been slight shifts, but we do have 197 personnel, and their focus adjusts based on what the fire requires.
Thank you.
Those are all of the questions in the chat. I'm going to hold one more minute to see if any other questions get added. All right, if anybody has any follow-up questions, please send them to the emails provided in the chat. Seeing no further questions, I'm going to turn things back to Madison for closing comments.
Thank you very much, Jennifer and Douglas. So just a reminder that this part of the island, is part of the province, Vancouver Island, is experiencing a significant drought. We will continue to see smoke from within the perimeter as the fire consumes those fuels from well within the perimeter, but do expect to continue to see smoke for quite a while. Multiple different bodies of water, including Cameron, Horn, and Spider Lake, will continue to be used for fire suppression activities. So just keep an eye out, stay close to shore, and please don't interfere with any of our aircraft as they are doing their best to respond to this fire, as well as any others throughout the province. Please follow the updates on the Wildfire app and dashboard. We do recommend downloading the app. It is an excellent tool to find out operational information and updates on this and every other fire within the province. We do rely on members of the public to report new wildfires. You can do that by calling 1-800-663-5555 or star 5555 on your cell phone, or use the app to report online on the app, and you can include a photo, which helps us to better mobilize. It helps our operations team to know what exactly it is that they're looking at in regards to smoke and location. Thank you very much to the local community and to all of the different resources that we've been working with. It takes a village, and we've been very grateful and thankful for those that we've gotten the chance to work with. So thank you very much. As a reminder, we will not have an availability tomorrow. If you have questions, please email, and you will be receiving information on any upcoming availability from the incoming team. This this recording will be emailed to everyone, and you stand by for information if there is another one. Thank you guys all very much.
Thank you, Madison. Thanks, everyone.